Hello, friends, and welcome to our video series on question answers on agility in general. Our today's focus is on agile leadership, and I have with me my dear friend Deepak Chauhan, who is uh, one of our authorized instructors from IC Agile on the Agile Leadership program. So, hello, Deepak, and welcome for this short question answer session.
Thank you, Vineet. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, Deepak. So I'll start straight away. These are some of the questions, Deepak, which I have seen very commonly being asked to me from my participants. So I thought maybe I'll have different perspective asking you. And this is a live video, unscripted, and I know you like that unscripted way. So my
Yep.
first question is, uh, why suddenly so much buzz around agile leadership programs? You see, we also launched agile leadership program, although we had it planned for about 6 months. But if you see, there's a lot of agile leadership programs and leadership programs in general that you see around. Why now?
Yeah, so Vineet, if you look around, you will see a rapid pace of change that we are witnessing all across, right? In competition, in demand, in technology, customer expectations. And this is what have made it very important for the organizations to able to respond and adapt quickly, right? Now, it's extremely important for the organization not only to survive, but to thrive. So to thrive, many organizations have to move from a traditional organizational model, which was designed for the industry and economy, to an agile model designed for today's digital world. Now, what happens in this new paradigm? There's a new form of organization that needs to be created that enables a culture of innovation, collaboration, value creation, and that too at unprecedented speed, scale, and impact. And as we all know, these are all agile values. So we are creating an agile organizations. And obviously, to create agile organizations, we need agile leaders. And that is one reason why there's so much focus on agile leadership at this moment in time.
No, that's wonderful. But just a follow-up thing. When you say today's times, right? Out of curiosity, are you talking like in general the last few years, or are you talking about the pandemic that is happening? Is it specific to the pandemic, or it's general? It was already happening.
It is
Whether
combination of both of them. It is, I mean, very recent times you will see what is happening in the world, and pandemic has even accelerated the change that was going on all across the world.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So pandemic
So
has actually become a
accelerated, yeah, accelerated the
catalyst.
change. Yeah, it is
Accelerate.
acting as a catalyst at this moment in time.
Okay.
So
Now
we
people,
need to move towards agility a bit faster than we were doing it before.
and we need leaders more agile leaders
Absolutely.
now. Oh, that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Perfect.
Now, what happens to the existing leadership or management? Are they no longer relevant? Are they no longer required? What about them?
I think this is a very good question. So if you look at the traditional traits of leadership, like leading with example, the use of power to influence people, having very high ethical values, these are still relevant in today's world. It is not that they will just go away, but they will be relevant in some context. But I would say the traditional way of leading will not be sufficient to lead agile organizations in the future. So what leaders need to do is they need to develop a new approach, a new mindset, a new skill set to lead organization of the 21st century. I'll just give you an example, right? In agile world, leaders use more influence than power,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are coach and developer of people. They are great listeners and communicators. So these are certain skills. These are just examples that I've given you. So there are many other skills which leaders need to cultivate so
Mhm.
that they can transform from a traditional leadership to an agile leadership.
Okay, that's interesting. So even leadership also will go through transition. It's not like a switch on, switch off. Some aspects of traditional leadership is there
Absolutely.
to stay. Okay.
Yes, yes. So traditional
And
leadership is going to stay. The foundation is going to stay, but then you have to acquire new skills and new capabilities to lead organizations.
now, Deepak, what are these new capabilities or skills you're talking about? Tell us something about agile leadership. What are the key practices for that matter?
Okay. So I'll just throw some light on some of the key practices. So some of the key practices that are required for the leaders of today, and that they are great at managing themselves, or in other words,
Okay.
they are great in managing not only their own emotions, but also emotions of others, and for the benefit of organizational efficacy. And leaders, ones who are always be prepared to adjust strategies to capture emerging opportunities or tackle unexpected challenges, right? I will, great leader would be one who's a great communicator at all levels of the organization, one who's a
Okay.
great storyteller,
Okay.
one who uses a combination of power and influence,
Okay.
a leader who promotes psychological safety in the organization, whereby creating a culture of innovation and risk taking, right? And a leader who understands the complexity in today's world and takes decision rapidly and swiftly, even in absence of complete information. A coach who develops people and helps in creation of high performing teams, and one who is always a learning by himself so that he can create a learning organization. So these are just some of the traits which are must have, for anyone who needs to move into agile leadership.
It seems like a lot to me. So tell me, Deepak, can I be an agile leader?
Oh, definitely. Why not? Everyone can be an agile leader. It all depends upon your conviction,
Okay.
right? You need to make a conscious effort, and definitely you can become an agile leader.
Okay. So can it be? You meant to say maybe I'm there already, maybe I'm not there. So whatever the gaps are, whatever some of the
Yes.
skills which are not there in me already, and in general on people, they can cultivate it.
Yes, you can cultivate. Definitely, you can learn. It will take some time, but if you are, conscious and you make a conscious effort on that, definitely you'll be successful.
Okay. Now, I was hearing you. You mentioned something self-development and relationship, all levels of the organization. You mentioned a few things. My question is, where do I start? Where do I start in general to cultivate agile leadership with me?
Again, a very interesting question. So, as they say, charity begins at home, right? So, how you go about this is by self realization and self management, by consciously developing practices such as those of mindfulness, developing a growth mindset, knowing about your own personal values and purpose in life, and then aligning the same with the organization, continuously assessing yourself. It is extremely important. Continuously assess yourself on leadership skills. Okay.
Okay.
Continuous learning and developing different mental models. Extremely important for upcoming leaders. Being a role model with respect to agile values and principles. Developing coaching and listening skills, and developing a great communication skills, and finally thinking about organization as living systems and not as machines. And it's even more important for an agile leader or an agile leader under development to understand the difference between managing change and leading change.
Okay. Managing and leading. Okay.
Yeah, so there are two different aspects, and
And in what ways they're different? Briefly, if you can.
they are different because change is something which you can manage, right? And transformation is a journey. There are a lot of gray areas there. So you need agile leaders to lead the transformation, because nothing is certain out there. It's all about
Nothing.
trial and error. You have to motivate people, right? And show them a vision. It's all about the future. I'll just give you an example. A very small example is when snake change their skin, right?
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
change.
It's a
When a
change. Yeah.
caterpillar becomes a butterfly, it's a transformation. That is a beautiful
Irreversible.
example.
So you're
Yeah, it is
talking.
irreversible. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Transformation is irreversible. You cannot go back to that stage again.
Okay, okay. So transformation is irreversible. There is a lot of uncertainty. You also said taking.
Uncertainty.
You also mentioned a few moments back, if I recall, taking decision with insufficient information.
Data,
That was
yes.
amazing. Insufficient
Yep.
data. So that's where we cannot be sure, and you need agile leaders.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it's a journey, and there is no milestones or an endpoint of that. It's all about a vision, right? You're visioning about a future,
okay, okay. You
and you're
vision
working on
about,
that.
and you don't know what will happen. You just have a
Absolutely.
vision. It might work. It might not.
It might not work.
Might
Yes.
not work. Wow,
Many
that's
transformation fails, or I would say large number of transformation fails because of the reason that people are not able to differentiate between change and transformation, and they try to manage transformation rather than lead it.
Oh wow, that's just really amazing. So with this so much, I mean, especially if you see, including our business, our work, my clients' work, there's a huge disruption happening all
Yep.
around. So do you think leaders with this, as you say, it starts with self, having being a role model, having agile mindset, living agile values and principles. Is this really good enough? That leaders are equipped. I mean, good enough for leaders to lead us towards the future. That's having
Yes,
agile
definitely.
mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Why not? So research, if you look around, research has proved that once an organization transforms itself from a traditional to an agile organization, then it develops products 5 times faster, makes decision 3 times faster, and reallocate resources seamlessly and in a much faster way than a traditional organization, right? So now these are the results which speak for themselves. Now the greatest enablers or barriers to a successful transformation are leadership and culture.
Okay.
Right. Now these are two traits which are extremely important. So if a leader focus on leadership skills and culture part, which
Mm-hmm.
obviously reflect agility, then there is no way that, your journey will not be successful. It will definitely going to be successful because these are two traits and research
Yes, okay.
proves it for themselves.
So culture and leadership. So that
Yes.
is amazing. I know it's a little offline, but if you go back to Agile Chapter also, that
Yes.
we have worked on, and naturally it is falling together. Culture and
Absolutely.
leadership. Okay, so Deepak, one last question, and I would not take much of your time here. Now, I have got this question many times. I have answered it my way, but I really want to hear from you. So you mentioned a
Mm-hmm.
lot of skill set, storytelling, changing mental model, role model, being a role model, and stuff like that. So there are some really good stuff I'm hearing. What are the sources that these are the skills of an agile leader? Where did you get it from?
Well, so the best way is to look forward to some well-established curriculum and well-established courses. For example, IC Agile course of leading with agility. It's a beautiful course structured in a beautiful manner, which takes care of all these skill set and how agility starts from zero and how you can develop over a period of time.
Okay.
So these are necessary skills, and I believe a lot of research and a lot of effort has gone into developing that curriculum. And similarly, I'm just talking about ICJL. There are multiple leadership, curriculum and courses available all across. Even some of the best universities in the world are, offering these courses. And if you look at the different curriculum, they're almost very similar in nature. They're always going in the same manner. Maybe few learning outcomes may be different, but the flow is almost the same.
Yeah. So the core skills like this was really amazing to me also. Leadership as a storytelling capability, which
Yes.
is very unique.
Yep.
We are so bored of these presentations and
Absolutely.
numbers, and
Absolutely.
also storytelling really helps. This is amazing. So and when you spoke of all the curriculum, one thing that I add from my side, and please correct me if that is wrong. Almost all curriculum, even the leadership, institutes, colleges known for leadership programs, they have done a lot of research based on
Yes.
what has worked for agile organization and
Absolutely.
what leadership. I also mentioned about some studies done at Google also about the management and leadership program.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so that's wonderful. So Deepak, I am really getting a lot of curiosity now, but I don't want to extend our conversation long. Also to keep this video short enough, but I would definitely like to have a follow up with you,
Definitely.
and I'll see if once we share these responses with people, what other questions they might have, and
Oh,
I will
definitely.
definitely do something like this. And thank you very much, Deepak. It's great,
Thank you so much, Vineet.
yeah,
Thank you so
and
much. It was my pleasure talking to you.
sure.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye, Deepak.